What's going on, everybody? This is Nick from House of Paint, bringing you the first ever makeover edition of House of Paint. This is something that I've been thinking up for a while, and I think it'll be fun to do. So basically, the premise here is I go into like a local dollar store or whatever and find little pieces that are in need of a makeover. So I was actually in my local dollar store and I found several Marvel paperweights, as you can see here. And the first one that I want to work on is Iron Man. Now, I actually think Iron Man looks pretty cool. So basically what I'm going to do is, you can see this, and this also has some nice weight to it. It's actually a a fairly decent sized bust. I'm going to be doing some non-metallic metal on him and priming over the original paint job in black. I'm going to be taping up the base because I do want to leave that nice Avengers A on there. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of a chess piece. But before we get started, just a friendly reminder to smite like and slam subscribe so that you can stay up to date on all the latest content that I'm putting out there in my quest to paint the manual, and of course all my other shenanigans in between. So without further ado, let's give Iron Man a makeover.
I'm going to start off with a base coat on the armor with a 50-50 mix of burnt red and dark vermilion. I'm going to try my best here to go over each individual panel and try to leave the shadows in the grooves between each panel. So as you can see, applying this in a thin layer, so I'm most likely going to need at least a second layer, if not a third layer of the base. Now, as a base coat on the visor, I'm going to be going with heavy gold brown. Now to add some shading, I'm going to be putting a diluted mix of burnt red, heavy violet, and black between the grooves of each individual panel. Next, I want to build in that indentation in the visor, so I'm going to be taking a mix of heavy sienna and heavy gold brown, kind of making those semicircular divots in his cheeks. And now to clean things up, I'm just going to reinforce that heavy gold brown more towards the center of the face mask. Now adding dark sand to the heavy gold brown, going to be doing some edge highlights here under the eyes, around the visor, and a little bit towards the crown of the face. And we are going to get a mid-tone going here about 75% of the way up the chest panels with pure dark vermilion. As well as the central panels of the stomach. Crown of the head. Now adding orange fire to the mix, I'll be going back over the areas that I just highlighted. However, I'll be reducing the area with which I apply the highlight to kind of give the illusion of this gradation. I'm only going about 50% up the chest for this. And finally adding some sun yellow to give it really a nice metallic sheen. Adding some white to the face mask mix, I'll be brightening up the crown of the facial visor, as well as underneath the eyes and around the divots of the cheeks. I'm going to start basing the arc reactor in the chest as well as his eyes with a base coat of dark Prussian blue. And I'm just going to keep adding white to this dark Prussian blue as I'm building towards a solid white in the center of the chest. Every time I add white in a lighter tone, I'm going to be covering a smaller area of the arc reactor here to kind of create that glowing effect. And then I'll be going up into the eyes and doing the same thing, so highlighting a smaller area of the eyes. Finally, that pure white I'm going to put in a very small area right in the center of the chest there, and then the same thing in his eyes. I'm going to go ahead and base coat these latches on his panels here in cold gray. Going to add a little cold gray and white here just to give an impression of some highlights. That should about do it.
All right, and there we have it, the first House of Paint makeover. I think this was a success. Really enjoyed painting Iron Man here, in any case, and I hope you enjoyed as well. Information on how to follow me on all my social media platforms is immediately following the video. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you for the next one.